Alright, let's talk about the object management. It's quite an important subject in the game because currently most of what you're going to see in the game are objects. Even characters, they are just object plus a character sheet. So in order to create an object, you open your contain window, you go into the object sections and you click on the add button. And when you do that, several things happen. First, obviously, an object appears on the map here, as you can see. But also, you can see that the top left corner of my screen has changed. This field, let me remind you that this field is always displaying the one and only thing that you are currently controlling. In this game, you can control only one thing at a time, and the name of that thing will be displayed in this field. Next is this button here. Don't know if you paid attention to that, but it was a player button and it now has become an object button. And in fact, this button is a variable button which will display the sort of object that you are currently controlling. So if you're controlling your player, it will be a player button which will display the player window when you click on it. If you control an object, then it will be an object button, and if you control a character, it will be a character button. Alright, so the first thing you have to know is that when you create an object, you are controlling this object. And one important consequence of that fact is that the displacement keys are now applying to the object and not to my player anymore. So I'm now hitting, go back into English keyboard. I'm now hitting the displacement keys and you can see that the object is moving and not my player. So W, S, A, D, E, and Q. You can also rotate the object by using the mouse wheel in one direction or the other direction. Okay, so next I have to explain to you how to control and to release an object. So if I want to, I am currently controlling an object, and if I want to release this object, what I have to do is to right click. I use my right mouse button, and as a general rule, the right mouse button will always get you back to your skin, so to speak. It will get you back to your player control. So I'm going now to click that right mouse button, and I want you to pay attention to what happens to this field and to this button. 1, 2, 3, click. Right, so you can see that I am now controlling my player, so the name of my player is displayed, and I am now controlling a player, so this button has become a player button, which displays my player properties. My controls are now again controlling the player and not the object. Now if I want to take control of the object again, I have to hover my mouse over the object, and you can see that when I do that, the object becomes light blue. It emits a light blue light, which means that the object is available for being controlled. And so while I'm hovering my mouse over it, I just have to left click on the object and I am now controlling the object again. Alright, so right click to get you back to your player and left click on the object when it's available to control it. Okay, so now you want to click on the object button, and we are going to see only the first line of this window here, which is the window that displays the properties of the object and that will allow us to modify it, which we will do in the next video. Currently we will only explore the first line here. Obviously the first button is the delete button. You can see that I'm now deleting the object, so I have to create another one. As a reminder, you can also display the object window by clicking on its name in the list of the content window. It's exactly the same thing as clicking this button here. Alright. The next is the duplicate button. Well, it pretty much does what it says. I'm going to send this object away and duplicate it, and you can see that I get an exact copy of the object. Well, it's not quite visible here because we have not changed the texture of the object, but if I had changed any of its properties like texture or many things that we're going to see in the next video here, then they would be duplicated as well. Even its name would be duplicated. So it's an exact clone. You create an exact clone of the object that you have selected, and of course as soon as you duplicate the object, you take control of the clone here. You can see I'm controlling the object. I click duplicate again, and then I'm controlling the new clone, right? Next you have the bring here button. No surprise here. I click on the button and the object is back here. And you have the go to button here. So again, I go to my object and you can see that I am now near my object. So let's go back to my old self, take a little bit of large view here and come back. You can see that I can control any of my object, object 2, object 2 or object 2. They are all named the same because they are cloned of each other. Last thing is this little checkbox here, which will allow you to send the object to the stage, so to speak. Once you have set up your object and you think that you will not need to control it anymore, you can just pin it by checking that little checkbox here and clicking the apply button. As a general rule, I will say that again of course in the next video, but as a general rule, whenever you modified anything or an object or a character or your player even, you have to click the apply button. If you don't do this, then any of your modification will not be applied and they will not be saved. So when you click on the apply button, you apply and you save. So you can see that now the central object is, when I hit apply, is pinned. And when it's pinned, you can see that well, you can't see it, but I'm currently hitting the displacement key and nothing's happened. I'm rotating my mouse wheel and nothing's happened. The central object here that I am still controlling is not moving anymore. It's because it has been pinned. It's now part of the stage and I can't even select it and control it. You can see if I'm right clicking to get back to my player, you can see that the other object here becomes blue when I hover the mouse over them, but this one is not becoming blue. It's not available for being controlled. So the only way that I can modify it again is to go into the contained windows and click on the object. You can recognize an object that has been pinned because the bring here button is grayed on this object. I can't click it. As I said, the object is now part of the stage and it cannot be modified in any way as long as it's pinned. So if you want to modify it, you have to open its window again and then uncheck this box here. You can see that at once the bring here button is available and the object is again available to be controlled here by being clicked. Alright, I think this is it for this video. In the next video we're going to see how to modify the object, its looks and many other things. So thank you guys and see you in the next video.